Philippa Gregory's The Taming of the Queen, published in 2015, is a historical fiction novel and the fifth installment in her Tudor court series. The story centers on Kateryn Parr, the sixth and final wife of Henry VIII, and her struggle to survive a dangerous marriage with a king who had either killed or discarded all but one of his previous wives. Gregory, a historian with a deep interest in the Tudor era, is known for her compelling historical fiction. Her first book in the series, The Other Boleyn Girl, about Anne Boleyn's sister, was a bestseller and adapted into a major film. Other notable works by Gregory include The White Queen and the Boleyn Inheritance. At the start of the novel, Kateryn Parr, a widow in her 30s by the standards of the time, is considered to be at a relatively advanced age. Despite this, she is embroiled in a passionate affair with Thomas Seymour, brother of Henry VIII's third wife, Jane Seymour. Henry VIII, known for his tumultuous marriages, has a history of using extreme measures to dispose of his wives. He broke away from the Catholic Church to divorce his first wife, Catherine of Aragon, and had his second wife, Anne Boleyn, executed on fabricated charges of treason. His third wife, Jane Seymour, died shortly after giving birth to his only male heir, Edward. His fourth marriage to Anne of Cleves was annulled, and his fifth wife, Catherine Howard, was executed for adultery. In Gregory's portrayal, Henry is more akin to a serial killer or a Bluebeard figure than an absolute monarch, his actions driven by dangerous impulses. Despite Kateryn's awareness of Henry's brutal history, she feels compelled to accept his proposal of marriage. Although she loves Thomas Seymour, she believes it is her duty to marry Henry. Once married, however, she is physically repulsed by her new husband, trapped in a union she cannot escape. Henry is a shadow of his former self, ill, aging, and debilitated by morbid obesity. He suffers from a festering ulcer on his leg that refuses to heal, and his breath is foul. His body is so massive that even the act of consummating their marriage becomes a struggle. Kateryn, draped in the hand-me-downs of Henry's previous wives, is constantly reminded of the precariousness of her position. She must tread carefully, every word and gesture weighed to avoid provoking Henry's volatile temper. His capricious nature, his vanity, and the unpredictable mood swings that define him make every moment a potential threat to her safety. Thomas Seymour, her lover, is sent to Brussels shortly after Kateryn marries Henry, creating a painful physical distance between them. Though their separation may offer some semblance of safety, Kateryn often finds herself longing for him. In the meantime, she fills her time with other matters. She takes on a maternal role with Henry's daughters, especially the young Elizabeth, who has grown up largely isolated from her father. Elizabeth, whose mother was executed when she was a mere infant, finds solace in Kateryn's care. Henry, cold and distant, has repudiated both of his daughters, declaring them illegitimate despite their mothers being legally married to him at the time of their births. Kateryn, however, works to mend the rift between Henry and his daughters, helping to rebuild their fractured relationships. As Kateryn grows more accustomed to her position, she begins to explore her own intellectual and spiritual interests. Raised a devout Catholic, she finds herself drawn to the ideas of the Reformation. Her intellectual curiosity leads her to translate religious works from Latin into English, with the hope of making these texts accessible to ordinary people. She views this project as her life's work and publishes her first book, Psalms or Prayers, anonymously. In 1544, as Henry embarks on a military campaign in France, he appoints Kateryn as regent in his absence, solidifying her influence in his court. Kateryn takes her role as regent seriously, using her brief time in power to make a positive impact. She efficiently signs royal proclamations, manages delicate diplomatic relations with Scotland, and oversees the provisions and finances for Henry's campaign in France. During her spare moments, she engages in scholarly and spiritual discussions with her ladies-in-waiting. However, her growing interest in religious matters attracts unwanted attention. Rumors spread that Kateryn is secretly a Protestant, marking her as a potential heretic. Her situation worsens when she agrees to meet Anne Askew, a vocal Protestant reformer who is later arrested and charged with heresy. Anne is executed by burning at the stake, and Kateryn finds herself under suspicion for her apparent support of the woman. The Bishop of Winchester and Lord Wriothesley work to turn Henry against her, even drawing up a warrant for her arrest. Faced with the threat of death, Kateryn must act quickly to preserve her life. She appeals to Henry's vanity, submitting to his will, though she does so through gritted teeth. Henry calls her naughty, but offers her a form of forgiveness on the condition that she accepts punishment. She must kneel, bare her buttocks, and allow him to whip her. The scene is deeply unpleasant, but Kateryn endures it, knowing that this is the only way to avoid the fate of Anne Boleyn and Catherine Howard. Afterward, she continues to feign docility, allowing Henry to tame her while she quietly resumes her writing. In 1545, she publishes prayers or meditations under her own name, an unprecedented achievement as the first book ever published by a woman's name. She takes pride in this accomplishment. Henry's health continues to deteriorate throughout their marriage, and he dies in 1547, leaving Kateryn finally free from the dangerous union. The Taming of the Queen garnered mixed reviews upon its release. While it won the Woman Home Reader's Choice Award for Best Historical Saga of the Year, many readers criticized its historical inaccuracies in the portrayal of both characters and events. Nevertheless, Gregory continued to write historical fiction about the Tudor era with Three Sisters, Three Queens in 2016 and The Last Tudor in 2017. I hope you enjoyed this video. Leave a like if you did, and be sure to subscribe. Thank you.